Fore players are at Barstool Sports. It is February 18th, 2021. We're moving right along on the PGA Tour schedule. We are at Riviera this week. We have a very appealing booster this week yet again from the Barstool Sportsbook. We got Spieth and Max Homa, both to finish in the top 30. It's plus 400. Boosted up. Spieth's obviously been playing great last couple of weeks. He's got, I think he ended up finishing top, 6, I think, at Waste Management, or top 5 or 4. He was leading going into, the whole story about Spieth. And then Max Homa, he's a California kid. He likes this track a lot, played well last week. He had a double, I think, on 5 that sort of derailed him, and then a couple other bogeys. But otherwise, he was right there. So Max playing well, Spieth playing well. Boom, pick both of them. They just got to finish in the top 30. That ain't crazy. Just got to finish the top 30. I did get into it a little bit with Max yesterday of, betting in golf has now added for these guys that are on social media when they go check their mentions. Like if you ruin somebody's lineup or you ruin somebody's bet for the week, they just ruthlessly tweet at you like, you fucking suck. Can't believe you bogeyed 17 when like you shot 17 under for the week and made $700,000. And that putt might have cost you $400,000. You went from like second to third. And now Max is just going to get those tweets all weekend long every time he makes a bogey, which he deserves because he's very mean to our swing. So Max, we like you, but this week, again, I hope he finishes tied for 30th with like a birdie on the last hole so that the whole week, every time he makes a mistake, people are losing their fucking minds and tweeting mean things at him.
And he's the guy who's always on Twitter. Right? Like Spieth, I don't know if Spieth has logged into Twitter once, but Max Homa, he's going to see those tweets. So, just finish in the top 30, Max, or, just play well and everything will work out. It'll work itself out.
That's fair. That's like Tiger Woods saying winning takes care of everything. Like finishing top 30, Max, just takes care of everything. So don't worry about it. You and Spieth, get on the Barstool Sportsbook if you are in Michigan or Pennsylvania. We've got a couple other states coming out soon, which I'm very excited about. So good luck to those two fellas. You can follow them. I believe DJ's the betting favorite, which is not surprising. So we can get into that. First, we'll get into what you should be getting into, which is Owens Mixers. Transfusion, we talk about it a lot, and we will continue to. I had a transfusion handed to me yesterday that it was not the Owens Mixer transfusion that I know, but went out in the afternoon to film one of my videos at Akshin, Southern Dunes, really cool course. And the guys brought me a transfusion on the range, and it was just clear. I mean, it was clear. Like there was no hint of color whatsoever in it. I was like, I think they just brought me a glass of vodka. Yeah. And if you don't want something like that to happen, which it was delicious. I enjoyed it. It was great. I appreciate it. Actually gave it a high score because it tasted good. But if you don't want to roll the dice, you don't want to be worried about proportions or getting it right. That's what the transfusion's made for. That's what we came up with the mixer for. You can do a double. You can do a 1.5 shot. You could do a single, whatever you want. That transfusion is going to taste perfectly with it because we did taste tests. We got that thing ready to go exactly how we like it. So you don't have to worry again if this person doesn't pour the right amount. No, they just put in a little shot of vodka with the transfusion mixer from Owens Mixers, and boom, you are good to go. You could do that with cucumber and lime. You could do Lurch's grapefruit and lime. Paloma guy, you still on the Paloma kick there, Lurchy boy?
Always. Although it's been a while since I've been out on the course. So I haven't had one in a little bit of time, but I look forward to the next.
Is that only a golf course drink for you?
No, I would say it's not a great like winter drink though. Like as I'm sitting here in Jersey and it's just ice cold and we're about to have an ice storm and then there's going to be more snow coming. A Paloma doesn't have that excitement that it would if I was living in Scottsdale and it was 82 and sunny and I was going out to the course.
Fair. Scottsdale is beautiful. I will say it's looking around the country at some of the things that are occurring. It's very nice to look outside. I'll say it's so early that you guys are going to see the sun actually appear throughout this podcast, I think. But anyways, Owens, you go to Amazon. If you never heard of Amazon, we did a whole bit introducing you to Amazon on Tuesday's show. So if you're not familiar with it, you could learn a lot about it on Tuesday's show. But Amazon's great. Get yourself an account if you don't have one. This isn't even an Amazon promo. I'm just telling you that you can use Amazon to get Owens Mixers delivered right to your home by like the next day. So owensmixers.com works as well. Store.barstoolsports.com. You can get the transfusion. Big thanks to Owens for sponsoring us. You put it in with liquor. Boom, you got a great cocktail. You're welcome. I would say a White Russian's a great a great winter drink?
I would say that's a great winter drink. I would say I was on the ski slopes. I saw you were too. A hot toddy, lovely winter drink, especially when you're outside. And sometimes just like a nice IPA beer is a fantastic winter kind of like set in. Maybe you got your PJs on, you're hanging, you're watching TV, throw down an IPA and enjoy yourself.
I have an incident one time. This is like 10 years ago or so. I was skiing with my buddy Nick, who Lurch knows, great guy.
Mhm.
And we're at Killington where Lurch was this past weekend, and Killington's got a great après ski scene. They usually have like a live band. I don't know if it's the same thing with COVID now. The Pickle Barrel is one of the best bars in America. So the whole scene up at Killington is just fantastic. And we ski right like fucking first lift to last chair. Like we ski all day, which is hard to do because skiing on your body like physically is brutal, and we're all pathetic, out of shape losers. We ski so hard, and like everybody else kind of caved at 1 or 2. And me and my boy Nick did like the last couple hours. So then we get back in to do the après ski scene, and there's people everywhere. It's like a massive line to get drinks. And he's like, hey, hold this spot at the table. I'll go get us a couple drinks. I'm like, perfect. Well, I hate Bloody Marys. So he waits in line for like 10, 15 minutes it takes him. He gets these giant Bloody Marys, comes back. They got all the fucking fruit and everything. And he comes back, and I just didn't have the heart to tell him. And so I sucked down this Bloody Mary over the course of like 30 minutes. Every sip, it got worse and worse. Fucking hated it. And to this day, I don't think I've ever told him. I was like, hey, next round's me. I'm going to get the next fucking round.
I'll buy the rest, all the drinks all night. I'm not drinking
dude, it was awful. And every time I took a sip, I looked the other way so he couldn't see me being like.
I hate Bloody Marys as well. I had a pretty bad experience with one. It was back when I was working at Borelli's, and I became pretty friendly with a bunch of these Islanders coaches. Shout out Bernie Caselli, he's the skills coach for the New York Islanders.
What a name!
One of the best guys. That's I think I've talked about him on this podcast before. He like taught me how to watch hockey, where he's like two teams are on the ice, all this stuff.
I'd be surprised if you haven't talked about him.
No, he's the best. Brent Thompson, I don't know if he was ever a Blue, but he played with Gretzky. So like really cool stories with him. Anyway, we were going to this Bruins game because a couple of the guys are from Boston, and they invited me. Actually, it was actually pretty cool to like just be like not at Borelli's or an Islander game with these guys. And I had drank the night before. It was one of my friend's birthdays, and like I got absolutely destroyed and woke up, and we were driving up to Boston the next morning. So that was like a 3 a.m., 4 a.m. wake up. So I just went straight from wherever I was to like a car to get up there. Right. And, nauseous, wanted to throw up the whole ride. They're like, it was a 1 o'clock Red Sox game. So I'm like, we're going to go up there. And they said, we're going to go to this place right outside Fenway. We're going to get a lunch, and so we get to this place, and they're like, oh, Frankie, you hung over? I know what to order you. And I was like, oh, fuck, like these guys. And they ordered me a massive Bloody Mary. They're like, no problem. You drink this thing, you're going to feel your hangover goes away. No problem. I'm like, yeah, for men or whatever. Like I was 22 years old. I took one sip of this thing, and I threw up on like my chest. Like it was like I got the table. Like at the table. It was the most embarrassing moment of my life. I took one sip. I got up. I didn't say a word. I walked to the bathroom. I had throw up coming down on me, and I just puked in the bathroom. And then I come back, and I sat there. I'm like, yeah, I'll have the pancakes. Like, it was just fucking like, what am I doing here? So
is it the tomato juice you hate?
Yeah, it's a tomato juice. It's like that little kick of the spice, which I'm not a big fan of that taste.
Because I love it with the olives, and then sometimes
don't like
a
olives.
Breakfast bar, they'll dress it up with like bacon or shrimp in there, and like then you turn a Bloody Mary into like a meal. It's fantastic.
And shout out Nate Dogg. Eric Nathan at Barstool Sports is a big bloody guy.
Okay.
Yeah. He loves Bloodies and Olive Garden. Those are his two.
He puts like burgers inside his Bloody Marys. Like whatever's coming on that stick, it's basically the meal.
I got a Bloody Mary once that they put beef jerky in it, and it was one of the greater experiences of my life. I love a good Bloody Mary. I also have a deep affinity for tomato juice. I think tomato juice is fantastic. So I'll drink a Bloody Mary anytime.
Somebody told me tomato juice was healthy, so sometimes I feel like nobody ever orders this on the plane, but sometimes I'll just get the tomato juice and just huck that back and try to feel healthy.
Ginger ale's an all-time airplane.
Yeah, it is.
I do. I would say once every 3 years, I, in my head, due to a conversation like this, convince myself that I like Bloody Marys. and I'll order one and try one, and I fucking hate it every time. So what you guys are saying makes sense. I just don't like it. I don't know.
Your morning drink's always a screwdriver. I feel like you go that route pretty often.
Screwdriver's safe, simple.
Yeah,
You get the pickle, you get the green olive, you
right.
get
You get it.
pepper. Oh man,
You get a lot for one drink, is what you get.
and it's a socially acceptable drink in the morning.
100%.
People are like, that guy's having a bloody. Like if you're pounding back like a glass of whiskey, people are like, that guy's got a fucking problem.
Yeah,
But if you're drinking a Bloody Mary, people are like, that guy's just having a day. He's trying to take the edge off from last night. I love a Bloody Mary.
That's true.
Let me ask you guys this. I was thinking about this yesterday. What's a delicious dinner meal that's also not bad for you other than sushi?
Steak.
Can you repeat the question, please?
What is a delicious, like this is a genuine question. This isn't a we're not doing Jeopardy. What is a like delicious, like genuinely delicious meal for dinner that's also like not bad for you? Like I feel like steak is bad for you, like all that red meat. I feel like that's bad for you.
Yeah, salmon.
Salmon, that's a good one. Fish, yeah. It really has to stay in that fish train though, because like you branch off. I mean, I guess you could do like some like chicken salad, some grilled chicken salad, but that's not delicious, I don't think.
It's like you know what
Broccoli,
you're doing.
holy
Like
moly.
you have to, when you get a grill, like when you get a chicken salad or something, you are consciously choosing a version of that meal that's less delicious because it's better for you. When you're getting sushi, like that's the end game. You're getting like the most delicious version of that meat.
Right. No, you're living. Sushi's the best.
Yeah, like the Venn diagram of healthy and delicious. There's not very many items in that middle part. You're right about steak, that it is red meat and that has all sorts of issues. But if you're looking for no carbs, then that's kind of the way to go. Fish and meat, chicken, steak, sashimi, sushi. That's kind of the only way to go, unfortunately.
My version of sushi is a joke, though. I just douse it in soy sauce, so it becomes the most unhealthy meal of the day.
I used to love those poke bowls. I haven't had one of those things since I lived in New York, but that's just all the sushi ingredients just in this huge, like kind of Chipotle bowl.
When I first moved to New York, I was addicted to sushi. I'd never had sushi before I moved to New York. So that's 27 years without sushi. And then when I moved to New York and we would record late nights, we would record Foreplay at the office, the old office, me, you, and Robbie Fox, we would get fucking sushi every single time, to the point where I thought I was going to get mercury poisoning. But I've been missing out. I don't know if I didn't want to eat sushi back in Iowa because there's not, much water around the state of Iowa.
The freshness is on point up there.
Right. That was never the thought. I never thought about getting sushi back in Iowa. But then when I moved out here, people were like, oh, you got to try the sushi if you've never had it. And then I just went all in on sushi for about 8 months.
I heard Vancouver has like some of the best sushi on earth.
Yeah.
I believe that.
I want to go to Vancouver. Vancouver looks sweet.
Yeah, I would say that Pacific Northwest is like really cool.
There's
Alaska up there, I think would be a sweet drive.
I've been to Alaska. It's pretty fucking wild.
That's nuts. Happy Gilmore's 25th anniversary was yesterday. That was a pretty funny little back and forth between Adam Sandler and Christopher McDonald. But I watched Happy Gilmore last night just, because everyone was doing it. And if you really pay attention to the courses they play, like the one that he plays with Barker is actually a pretty unbelievable golf course. So I looked it up and it's in British Columbia. It's a crazy golf course up there. Like, I mean, the views are insane. I mean, the fog is coming down off the mountains and stuff. I mean, it's a mountainous golf course. It was awesome. If you look it up, he plays some pretty elite courses in that movie.
Some guy was messaging me yesterday from Vancouver who's been trying to get us to go up there and do a classic or do a travel show. And he was telling me all about that. Like, he was like, yeah, this is where Happy Gilmore was filmed. And he's sending me pictures. The courses look like fake life. They look like they're out of 2K, where you can just make courses however you want with the mountains and the water. Like, the golf looks fucking awesome up there. So we might have to, if the borders ever reopen and we ever get back to normal here, we might have to hit up Vancouver.
Quick plug on Butters Bay. I mean, I put together Poppy's Irons, which is a muni in comparison to Butters Bay. So shout out Frankie and what he created, because we took a spin around that course last night and it is absolutely incredible. So if you're not already part of that community, go join and then find Butters Bay, because that course is just, I would say, a million times better than the course I created.
Getting
And that might be at the low end.
Getting the sun to be the right, like just that right tint of almost
Right.
either twilight or you know what I mean. That adds. To
No,
the
it
course.
was.
Yeah, it was a nice stroll around Butters Bay last night.
I might pour myself a Paloma and take myself around there. Just close my eyes and pretend I'm in this fantasy land of golf.
Pitt Meadows Golf Club in British Columbia. That's the one I'm talking about.
Okay. We've got some golf to discuss. The Matt Wolff video's out on YouTube. Check it out. Trent doing the trigger move is one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen in my entire life. So get involved. Go look. Go watch. Go view.
The video's sick. He actually I'll let you guys know what he messaged me, and I'll let you know what he said after next Tuesday once our match with him comes up.
Yeah,
Because he was talking about something that happened in the next video, and we got a little thing going now, so that'll be fun. He was awesome. I got a bunch of messages being like, that was the most personable, like that felt like my friend more than any other person that you guys have done. Like, because I feel like at some point, like Kisner's older than some of the people that we like, that listen to the show or watch the show. Like, this is just a guy who went to Oklahoma State like a year ago, basically. He's like so freaking young. We talk about his attitude being really, really immature at times, but that's a lot of the people that listen to the show is kids in college and coming out of college and talking like that. Like, I mean, we all do that and at times, and he really, really showed to be like just one of the boys. And I think you're going to see that next Tuesday also, but yeah, people are liking that video a lot.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of immature and stuff, like I'm 34. You catch me on like the wrong Saturday afternoon after 7 transfusions. I'm way more immature than Matt Wolff. So he's you're right. He's super relatable in the sense that he's more similar, I think, especially in age of it, to most people that are following and listening than the other guys. And especially like, yeah, he's made some money, but he's so young. Like he doesn't have tens of millions yet. Like he's still relatively new to being an adult, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 21. I mean, think about what we were like when we were 21. It was madness.
Crazy.
Certainly not as nowhere near as successful as Matthew Wolff, but just like an immature idiot.
No,
that's how
coming from the world of like no money, being in college or doing whatever, and then being that young and like getting a top 20 check must be one of the coolest things of all time. And then that happens. I don't know if he plays 30 times, that happens probably 5 to 10 times that he got like a sizable check his first year. Like that must have been all time exciting.
Right. Like you think about a guy like Kisner, and we talk about Wad Wednesday all the time with him, but now he looks at his phone. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's nothing. But that's something next time we talk to Matt Wolff, we should ask him like what that experience is like for him. Because we know what it is on the Kisner end, but for him, that first time when that check hits had to just be like, this is great. This is what I've been working towards.
I'll never forget like Alex Kalor in Tampa Bay Lightning. He's like top 2 liner, Stanley Cup champ. He's like one of my good buddies from college, and like first year or two after when he's in the NHL. And he would tell us, he's like, man, it's pretty crazy because you go on the road and like they get a per diem. So they don't even really pay for that much on the road, and they're kind of grinding and they play every other day. He's like, you won't look at your bank account for 3 or 4 weeks. And then he's like, you'll just look in there after maybe let's call it 4 weeks. And he's like, and there's like $480,000 more than there was in there last time you looked at your bank account. You're just like, oh, great. Man, could you fucking imagine?
Dude, I remember, I forget the pitcher's name. There was a pitcher who went to a rival high school of mine who, this was years ago now, I cannot remember his name, but I remember he got drafted. And there was obviously like, holy shit, this guy who's from around here got drafted, and he got a signing bonus of like $750,000. And I remember thinking that was $1 billion at the time. Like that guy he's now a billionaire. He signed, a team drafted him. I wish I could remember his name, but he got $750,000. And I was like, well, he's set. He can just retire now. It's the amount of money that those guys get at that young of an age is insane.
Speaking of my buddy, speaking of BC, my buddy Devon Taves, and he's a friend of the show, friend of the program. He was, I used to think like, all right, this guy makes like $750,000. Like he's still at like a normal level. I tried to get that into my head compared to sports. And then he went out and signed like a 5-year, $5 million a year contract with Colorado Avalanche. So he's left planet Earth like most people in professional sports. But I do remember him like on the island just being more like, all right, conscious of his money, because like after you, especially the way that the season went last year, where they had to pay that escrow tax and all that stuff, and then you got to pay your agent, and then you got to pay for your house, you got to pay for your car. It's like, all right, you're kind of like in the same boat as a regular person, like kind of playing professional hockey, which was kind of stunning.
Yeah. I'll say on top of that too, like for Devontae's or others or Killorn they didn't like sign a big contract out of the gate, so it wasn't just like a flip of their head like all of a sudden. Where Matt Wolff, like if he goes out and puts together like a top 5 finish, all of a sudden he made what they're gonna make in a year. Like it's in a WOD Wednesday. I mean, that feeling must be out of this world cool. To contain yourself and continue to play like golf must be so hard. Like I'm taking at least 2 weeks off.
Yeah. For a golfer, you're right. And I mean, he won like his first time out. So he gets like a $1.1 or $2 million check. Then when he has a couple other top 5s, now he's at 2 to 3 million right away. And that's before his endorsement deal. So yeah, and he's 20 or 20. What is he now? 22? Is he 21 still?
I looked, he turns 22 in April.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
That's younger than I thought. Every time we bring up Matt Wolff, I can't believe how fucking young he is. So we got another video with Matt Wolff coming out on next Tuesday, and go check out the one on YouTube if you have not yet. Okay. Oh, by the way, speaking of Devontae's, we had a plan, Frankie. We had a little bit we were going to do where he was going to send me a Taze Avalanche jersey, and I was going to wear it on the show. But when the Blues and the Avalanche ended up in the same division when they did the alignment thing, I told them I couldn't do it because they play each other like fucking every other week.
We had a back and forth recently about something, and I was like, I don't know what it was. Maybe like when I was going to hockey, I was using like Brock's stick or something, and I was like, I'm not using yours, or something happened. And then because I'm like, I said, oh, like I love these jerseys, and he's like, yeah, like you want one of mine? And I said, no, you're not a fucking Islander anymore. And he's like, really? Like you wouldn't want this one? I'm like, actually, yeah, like the Avalanche jerseys are pretty sick. And then he just like never answered that. He's like, we'll get it to you one of these days. Like, oh fuck, now I kind of want one, like a signed fucking Devontae's jersey. That would have made me upset because I do want one.
Yeah, I think Avalanche, like late 90s Joe Sakic jersey was what I wanted more than anything as a kid, but they were like $80 at the time, even in like late 90s. My parents were like, no chance. And then eventually I got over that. So
their newest jersey, like that color scheme it's that color scheme, I think, that late 90s one. It's so fucking good.
Like the lighter blue instead of the darker stuff.
Yes.
But anyways, we're not here to talk about the Avalanche. We're not Avalanche fans. Let's go Blues. Let's go Islanders.
Before we get into it, I want to do a what's up doc. I mean, the Rangers are an absolute joke. The Islanders have carried New York. I was going to tweet this last night, but I was too tired to fight off the minions and all these assholes. But the Islanders have carried New York hockey for 4 straight years. If you look back at the standings, like the Rangers
haven't won a cup, so they really haven't done much either. It's just
no, but like at least we're keeping it competitive for the fucking state. I mean, Buffalo stinks, and so the Rangers have stunk for 4 years. Like they've been just below the Islanders.
That long now, but yeah, no, it's not.
4 years ago, they finished last in the division.
Right. I mean, like we're not positive. It's not like
no, it's
not
bad
about it. I almost tweeted out last night that they should be relegated. Like they're so bad that I think their talent can't develop at this high of a level or something like that. So we should go to the AHL, gain some confidence, and come back.
God, that makes me feel so good.
I mean, you got to be real about it. We are horrible. And
I'm stroking myself right now. I'm stroking myself.
Oh, God.
I know it's a kid's show.
You just made I'm 100% of listeners had to just vomit.
Well, I mean, you're talking about the Rangers' demise. That's as good as it gets for me. That's nuts.
On radio, you just got close and said what you said.
Well, whatever. There's a little what's up doc thing going on. Have you guys ever had an itch on your leg? It's usually on your leg, and you know where it is, but you just can't itch it. Like you feel it somewhere on your leg. It's almost like it's inside your leg, and you itch the same spot. And it's just not getting it. I want to know what that is.
Do you have like eczema or something?
No, it happens like once every couple, whatever. Like, and I'll just be laying in bed. And I'll be like, oh, I have an itch like behind my leg, like where like the bend is or whatever, behind my knee. And I'll go to itch, and I'm like, wait a minute now. That doesn't feel like I'm curing the itch. I'm not satisfying the itch.
I don't think I've ever not been able to satisfy an itch.
It's crazy. It's almost like it's inside, or it's like you have to find a spot somewhere else to satisfy that itch that feels there. It's the strangest feeling in the world, and I hope someone can email me or DM me what that is.
I think I'm with you. I think on like maybe the thicker part of my leg, like if I'm trying to get to something and it feels like it's inside of my skin or inside my bone and I can't get to it.
Then I thought it was like a blood clot maybe. I was like, what is going on? Like, this is scary. Yeah, that would.
That's serious. I think blood.
I didn't
clot-
know what was happening. Like, I
serious.
feel it right now, actually. You got to find a little spot. It's almost like you got to press a button on your leg. All right.
On the health side, I'm just wondering, I think I'm falling way out of shape. Like I'm not doing enough these days. Is anybody running or being active during COVID? I feel like I'm doing nothing.
I'm surprised you're saying that because feel like you're the most active of the group.
I know. I feel like
You
I'm
did
not
that
running enough,
cleanse.
or I got to get out and move.
You did that cleanse.
My strain yesterday,
That's good strain. What'd you do yesterday?
16.9.
What'd you do?
I'm just an active person. What do you want me
Or
to
did
say?
you sometimes if you wake up with like a 0 body battery or whatever, you can expedite or grow your strain exponentially.
Well, I did the I played golf, but it was like, so I usually get up there like 3 p.m. on these when I go film the Riggs Verse videos because I can fly the drone and film and shit.
Yeah.
I get up there at like 3 p.m. last person off, and I fly around the course and try to play as much as I can while filming. And so maybe that, like, I don't know, increases the strain. But golf, we have talked about, golf is significantly more strenuous on your body based upon Whoop than I thought beforehand. Like, it's anytime I play golf, I'm in double digits for strain automatically.
Yeah, like when we were at the Kingdom that day, I remember my strain was through the roof, just hitting balls on the range. And
I
also
hit 1,000 balls that day.
Also at the Barstool Classic in Atlantic City, I believe it was, that's when my heart rate went to 192 after I was hitting balls on the range, and my heart almost exploded. So yeah, golf is a serious workout, especially if you're just banging balls on the range. Like that'll make it go up in a hurry.
I love Whoop, and I'll never take it off. I'd just like to know how they calculate the calories, because I had a roller hockey game the other night, fucking busted my ass. I was like a 16 strain, but I burned it said I burned like 3,000 calories. That's just not possible. That can't be possible.
Oh, I mean, playing hockey, I bet you did.
I mean, I looked it up. It's like an average massive workout. It's like 600 to maybe like 900 calories burned in like one crazy town workout.
Were you looking at calories burned throughout the day or just during your roller hockey game?
It was like throughout the day.
Yeah.
Are 3,000 calories burned in a day an astronomically high number?
No, I had 3,500 yesterday.
That's what I mean. I think they're normalizing ridiculous numbers. Isn't that a crazy number?
I don't. I think it's different for every person. Like obviously, I'm going to burn way more calories than you will every day. Just like being my person,
right? Because you're just a giant.
Right.
Yeah, maybe I'm off on that. I'm not a fitness guru. No one's ever said that
here.
about me.
Oh wait, no, I'm not. I almost did a Jake Bass where I just started reading.
Ooh, you almost.
Oh God.
I
may have done a Jake Bass when I looked into it. So.
No, I think that's right, Frankie. I'm seeing like 2,400, 2,300. And then if you put a fucking hockey workout in that's going to add around another 1,000. So I wouldn't be surprised.
All right. So Whoop's on the fucking right on the tracks.
Boom. All that to get to the truth, which is that Whoop's been great all along. So good job, Whoop. Okay. We have the Genesis Invitational benefiting Tiger Woods Foundation, Riviera. Riviera is probably the best golf course in a lot of people's minds. I've never been there. That they play on tour all year. It's like, it kind of satisfies a little bit of everything. It's tough, so it keeps scores for the average viewer in sort of that sweet spot where they like it. I think usually like low double digits gets it done at Riviera. So you don't see like 25 under. It's from an architectural standpoint, like the nerd golf crew loves Riviera. And then I would say from the very average window shopper type viewer, it's also got really interesting holes. The 10th hole always delivers with, it's only like 285 yards. You see guys hit 3 woods at it, drivers at it, and you can watch guys fucking go back and forth, trying to get it on that green on the 10th green. So it's got a little bit of everything. It's beautiful. The first tee, standing right by that clubhouse where Tiger Woods hit his first shot ever in professional golf. So it's got a lot to it. Riviera is really sweet. Daniel Berger, who won this past weekend at Pebble, withdrew from the tournament. So that actually makes back-to-back weeks where we had winners who then the following week said nope because DJ withdrew from Pebble after winning over in Saudi, and Daniel Berger wins at Pebble and just says nope, not going to play Riviera. They have a ton coming up, so it makes sense at this point. If you've already won a tournament like Daniel Berger just did, you're pretty much trying to peak for the Masters. I mean, the Masters is in less than 2 months, which is outrageous. It's in like 6-7 weeks. So you really need to get ready for the Florida swing. They got a couple WGCs coming up. They got the WGC next week, which if you're a Daniel Berger type figure, now you get in there, you're guaranteed to make a bunch of money. And then you hit the Florida swing. Bay Hill's a big tournament. Obviously, the Players Championship's a big tournament. So they got a lot to get ready for. So I'm not surprised that he withdrew.
You know what's another great thing about the PGA Tour 2K21? There's a lot of good things about it. But you can play these courses. Like Frankie and I played Riviera the other day. We were playing alternate shot against Stoolies when we were streaming. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us have ever played Riviera. But if you want to see what the layout looks like and you want to see what these guys are going to be playing on for these next 4 days, you can just go play it on PGA Tour 2K21. And it's basically the fucking golf course.
Best part of 2K is the courses by far.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely going to improve the physics, which the physics are actually sick. I shouldn't say that. Like maybe the graphics of the swing, the models, the way that they attack the ball, all that stuff. I think that's something that they're attacking for the next iteration of the game, especially with the new gen consoles coming out. But I will say they've nailed the golf courses. It's even whatever graphics you want to talk about, blah, blah, blah. The actual like undulations of the course, the way the ball rolls on it, the way that they've gotten it so perfect that if you play Riviera, whatever happens on hole 1 in real life, like where there's a runoff, where there's a little bit of a mound, where you can putt it, like if you belong to a country club and make your own course or whatever, and you can legitimately have it exactly the way you want. It's crazy. That engine that's in there is pretty fucking phenomenal. That's just available to everyone. You'd think that'd be thousands of dollars and some crazy, like these fucking crazy people that play these simulations all the time.
Yeah.
You walk in their room and they have a fucking airplane simulator in their like man cave and they're pressing a billion buttons because they never got to become a pilot, and they do it in their fucking bedroom. That is what I feel when I'm building like a golf course. I feel like that. Like I want to put on a golf architect outfit and my hard hat. I want to bring my lunch pail into my room. It's crazy. You get that simulation feeling.
One, I've never walked into anybody's house where they've had a full-blown flight simulator in there, but maybe and then 2, I agree on the course build. Like last night when we were playing alternate shot, I forgot that I think the 6th hole has the bunker in the middle of the green, and like the courses are just spot on. And I'm actually curious, what do you guys feel about the 6th hole and the bunker just like dead in the middle of the green? Do we like that? Do we think it's kind of stupid and gimmicky? Like, what are your thoughts?
I like it, but I like it because it's a signature one-off basically to Riviera. Like, I don't think it should be a consistent style template of hole across the world, but the fact that Riviera's got one and they always have, I like it.
So what if we're playing a competitive match and it's just us, and obviously we're not good, we're going to miss left or right of this bunker potentially. Like, I wonder what the course like policy is on chipping on this green. Like, do you have to just putt around it and it becomes a mini putt hole, or do you actually get to take a divot out of the green and then they just repair it? I can't think that you get to take a divot. So maybe the local rule is you move it around to give yourself a putt. I don't know.
Dude, well, Frankie, this happened to us the other day when we were playing. I left you on the right side of the green, pin was on the left, and obviously it's a video game.
I was like,
do whatever you want.
Well, the game
opted to putt it, but in the game you can chip.
The game gave me as a default the chip, which I found to be interesting. Like, obviously it knows, like, the game is just a video game, so it knows to put, when you're on a putting surface, it gives you a putter. For it to give me the wedge, I found to be pretty interesting, almost as if on that one hole they wrote into the code, like, if you're on this side of the bunker, you actually can use a wedge. Like, maybe I'm thinking too deep into it, but
yeah, I would say that I know pretty simple. If the line goes through rough, like even if you're on the edge of the green and the putting line goes through rough, or it goes through a bunker, it just gives you a wedge to get over it.
I would be curious if statistically the average amateur golfer, aka this crew on this show, would even make a lower score chipping it.
Good point.
No chance.
It's a good point.
Right.
Dude, I put it in the game. I went around it.
You're just trying to three putt, right? You're trying to like putt it around
Yeah.
it, and then putt it
Yeah.
It's
close.
actually kind of crowned on the top, so you can kind of bring it around.
I would like to know what the local rule is though at Riviera. Is it like, no. Like, I mean, you can't chip on these things. Like you just have to putt once you're on the green or what the policy is.
I bet there's not a local rule. I bet so Riviera, you probably almost everyone takes caddies.
Yeah.
And the caddy probably is usually like, putt it up here, dude. Putt it. Trust me, putt it here. Unless they've got a stick. Like if you're a scratch or better and you're like, yeah, I can nip one off this close, then there maybe, but I bet that rarely happens.
I mean, Gary Woodland walks out there and all of a sudden he can nip it up right around that fucking bunker. No problem.
I think JT had an incredible nip there last year or something like that, where just like
he did it at Riviera.
Yeah, I think even if I was a scratch or like got down to that level, I feel like that's another level of having the confidence to be a guest at Riviera and be like, no, give me my 60 degree. It's like, oh my God. I mean, right, especially the way I take divots. I mean, I could clear out the whole top side of the green.
Because like, how many strokes on your scorecard is worth it to not have taken a giant chunk out of the Riviera score? Like,
pick it up. I lost the hole. Like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, like 5 strokes. Like, like I would happily go from 77 to 82 to not walk off that property being like, dude, I took a fucking 5-inch divot out of the 6th green.
Right. And chunked it and rolled it into the bunker and then just like proceeded to throw sand up on the green until I just picked it up for an 8.
Right. It's not going to end well. It's not going to be a heroic story.
No.
It's going to be an embarrassing story.
You didn't hole it making a divot that size. So like you got a nightmare on your hands.
Yeah.
This is a good opportunity for me to say I've never taken a divot, so I would attack this thing like it's
That's
no
not
problem.
true. You took a divot last night with Matt Wolff. You took a little baby divot on the knee move.
Would you guys ever pull that move out on the real golf course?
What's this?
The fucking hitch.
Well,
oh.
If you went to the range and you discerned that it works for you, then I absolutely would. But I wouldn't just be like, you know what? On the fucking 6th hole here with this 7-iron in my hands, I'm gonna go for it.
You know what part of the swing? So I was actually telling Lurch this, and we're going back to the video. You can go on the YouTube page, you can subscribe, you can watch it. But when we were trying to emulate his swing, I don't think I ever once noticed how much he really turns his like eyes, chest, shoulders. It's more of that movement he does as opposed to we were so locked in on his knees. Like I was like, all right, which knee has to go down, which knee has to be stayed straight or move out. Like if I would have just been like, oh, he kind of just turns his chest to the target, like our knees would do the rest. Like it would be a lot more natural. Like if you really watch him, he really just looks at it and looks down. It's kind of crazy how easy it is, and we kind of made it impossible.
We were doing like, or at least we're doing like goalie moves, like like an ice hockey goalie, like dropping down to their knees. Like we weren't turning our shoulders to the target. It was like I'm just pretending like I'm falling straight down with my right side of my body, and then I'm going to stand up and try to hit it. And I was the worst out of everybody.
It's very much in line with all of the Genghis stuff where it's like at impact, your hips, shoulders, and eyes should have already like rotated past the ball, and like emulating that impact position before you even start your swing is fucking crazy town. And it was like, Genghis was getting mad at me where he's like, no, why? Like at impact, how come your eyes and your chest are just like still looking at the ball? And I'm like, well, because I've been doing it for 4 years that way. Like, I'm trying here, man. I got hips. There's only so many parts of my head. So him doing that, you're right, Lurch. And we always just focused on like collapse the left knee and it'll be like funny and interesting or the right knee. And then like, no, it's his whole fucking thing moves. And then like trying to get back to the ball and have everything be in the right spot without falling over is not easy if you've moved your eyes and your whole like equilibrium. So there's a lot into it, but he flushes the ball, and a couple of us hit some really flush shots doing it, which was very surprising.
Trying to do his helicopter swing, I thought helped me the most. Like the hitch in the beginning to me, like where he kind of just brings it up straight as opposed to back. When I tried to do that mentally and physically, obviously it wasn't the way he does it, but my version of it was bringing it a lot more straight back and up than I usually do. I always wonder if you did the helicopter swing, Riggs, how your swing would be fixed. Like if you did that every single time, if you just brought it straight up, turned it and tacked it, like you just wouldn't have that flat swing.
Yeah, a lot of people were like on the one that I like my attempts, and it felt like I did that. And they're like, no, that you just brought it back like more normally than
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
Right.
I
It probably felt super exaggerated, but you were just
felt
straight
like I
back.
was bringing it out like the other way, and then
Yeah.
instead. But yeah, that's those drills. Like the feel versus real thing in golf is one of the more bizarre yet always true sensations in the world, where it's like you feel like you are bringing it. And I'll, like with drills that I'll try to do, and I will say I don't think any of us are disciplined enough to actually do drills. Like I say
I've never
drills,
done
like
drill in my life.
I'll do one swing on the range, be like, I'm just gonna like try to implement that now. I don't do drills. I don't have the patience for it. But I'll feel like I'm bringing the club way outside, and then you look at yourself on video and you're still just way inside. So it's very frustrating.
Very frustrating.
100%. Yeah, my swing is the same. I'm 100% feel. Like if I'm hooking the ball, I just try to hold my hands off longer. But it's pretty much all the same thing. I don't change a damn thing.
No. But you hit the ball well. So it's
Yeah. Yeah,
what was that sad yeah you had there?
Yeah.
No, but it just, I'm just stuck. I hit my irons well, but I don't hit my drive predominantly that well. I obviously don't putt that well. I hit my wedges okay. And I'm just here. And to do drills, you improve. And I haven't really taken a huge step forward here in a long time.
You hit your irons well, but it's a scary time every time
violent.
you do it.
Yeah. Wolff was like, wow, you really hit down on the ball.
And I don't know how you keep that consistent or even slightly consistent.
I don't know. How do you keep consistently barely hitting the grass?
I know, but that came from years of, I guess.
This came from literally, I used to do what you did. And then somebody was like, no, the idea of golf is you hit down on the ball and it goes up. And I was like, well, I'll just hit way down on this thing. And then they started just ripping out of the gates. And it was the first time that I felt like I had control on the ball when I hit down and my hands were forward at impact. I could start to feel where I thought the ball was going to go. Even if I didn't see it, I got a sense based on how my hands felt through the swing that oh no, I tugged that one left or I pushed it right or that was a good one. Before that, when I was just brushing it, I could never really tell where it was going to go. I would always have to see it.
There's such a difference between when Rory McIlroy is on a Florida golf course or something that's nice and soft where they take those huge divots and he just nips it perfectly right into the grass, and that fucking divot, usually at Augusta we see it, the divot goes takes up the whole screen of the sky and just lightly fucking falls like a snowflake. When you do it, it's like a fucking asteroid hit the ground at that side angle, and pieces of the earth fucking up. It's like
no, I hear you, but when you start start your point with
Rory McIlroy,
there's such a difference with Rory McIlroy. It's what are you gonna say here? His body type, his wealth, his skull strength, his lifestyle, everything that he does in his day is just a million times different than me. But yeah, certainly when it comes down to golf, I don't know if there could be two more polar opposite.
When we first arrived at the TaylorMade shoot and we got to our hole and we were pretty far out and we're like, all right, let's hit some irons. And the guy was like, yeah, go ahead, do whatever you want. And he watched 3 of Lurch's swings and he's like, maybe not so many swings.
Yeah.
Maybe don't dig a hole in the middle of our fairway.
Well, we were interested to know if we should be hitting them when you're at a range, which I don't ever have to deal with because I don't take that many divots at the range. So I don't do the whole, do you take it behind? Do you go to the side? Do you want to go all in a uniform at the range? So that, because you actually said, is it easier for them to just replace this one box of turf as opposed to all over? You took out a massive amount of earth there on that hole. And the guy's he's like, why don't we spread that around a little bit so that at least it looks like divots.
We used to play golf separately, but now, where you play your own ball, but now obviously with the 4-man scrambles and some of these things that we're doing all together, I feel like you have even a better sense of how much ground I remove, because sometimes after I hit a ball, you'll be like, dude, it didn't even seem like you hit that well, but the ball went in a great spot and the earth just exploded. The grass, just the particles went everywhere. And so, yeah, I'm not a I mean, I definitely get like the golf course joke when I play, like, oh, you'll get an assessment for that one because like I just removed so much damn ground.
Yeah, you take they're violent. They're not pretty. They're just
No.
violent. It's like Roy's like whoosh, and it's beautiful. Yours is
Right.
like
Stop comparing me to Rory. Like, I mean, what the hell are we doing?
I swear, I think it's a tie for me between him and Tiger Woods on who takes the best divots, like the most satisfying divots.
Those wedge divots are so cool.
Oh, they're so satisfying. The noise
sounds
and just how
so
perfect they are.
good.
They nip just like this is like an eyeglass
Yeah.
case, but just like the perfect amount, and it's thin like that too. It's just like,
Oh,
and then
you
they just
couldn't
get
do
that
it.
beautiful one hot stop.
You couldn't do it if you had a steak knife and you cut it. Like you couldn't do
No.
it better. They somehow
No.
get perfectly uniform from back to front. It's perfect.
And then they'll do the slow-mo where they show it just
Yeah.
knifing through like butter. Makes me want to fucking pull my dick out.
They just do it every time. They do it perfectly every time.
Even Charlie Woods does it. It's nuts.
Oh man, that is
I'm gonna
right.
need some of that because I'm gonna start. I feel like I've said this.
Yeah,
80
this is
times
a
on the
broken
podcast.
record here.
I'm getting back into shape, you motherfuckers. All right, I'm fucking doing it. I swear to God, and I think Lurch, you're doing it too. I'm putting you now in there. We just gotta do it, dude.
All right.
I'm talking to Lurch right now. We just gotta do it, man.
All right, let's hold ourselves accountable. We'll start a
Okay.
little text between the two of us, and
Okay.
we'll try to do something every day.
All right. I got this fucking bike sitting in my room. I gotta get on this thing.
That's a good idea. We'll think through this, but I'm saying if you don't do something every day, you owe the other person.
Okay. We'll think of something. We'll think of something.
Or like to compound not doing anything, the other person has to throw down a whole bag of Swedish fish. So like,
Are you in like an apartment or anybody lives below you or anything?
no, why?
Okay, good. Well, if you had a bike, you can't get a bike.
No, I mean, I can't. I mean,
You'd be
I
a
guess
fucking-
You're an active person. Like you're doing things, but I think maybe our diets are really the problem.
He just eats too much. Lurch eats too much.
I do. I like to eat, but I will say, like, I just had that breakfast that I was telling Frankie about maybe on the stream last night. 3 hard-boiled eggs or soft boil, huck those things back with a coffee. I feel like that's a pretty healthy breakfast.
My buddies still talk about when you just casually mentioned that you on a typical bagel day at your old job that you'd be like, yeah, I'd try to keep it to 2, but sometimes I'd have like 3 or 4 or 5 bagels. And they're just like, no one on earth eats 3 or 4 or 5 bagels.
Dude, my brother and I do. We get like a baker's dozen. You get like 13, and my brother and I would sit there and like, you got like a Sunday morning show on CBS or whatever, and you're having coffee and a bagel with cream cheese, and like one goes down like you just looked at it differently, and then the others just kind of add up, and then you're talking about like a 4th bagel where you're like, should we split this one? It's like, sure, and then you got all that everything like the everything ingredients that they put on the bagel. You got that at the bottom of the bag, so then you put the cream cheese on and then drizzle those little everything particles all over the cream cheese, and then you got that double everything. I mean, then we're celebrating, then we're taking it into noon.
I will say, when I get around my male family members, like when I'm home, it's fucking over. Like when I'm around my dad and my brother, it's you want to split this, you want to split that, and you end up eating an entire pie, or you end up eating an entire cake, or all of the dessert. It's always, you want to split this, and it's like a gigantic portion. We're like, yeah, let's do it.
You want to split 2 pizzas? It's like, well, okay, now we're just fucking eating a pizza. What are we doing here? So
right, like we'll order 3 pizzas for 3 people, and we'll just we'll eat dinner, and then a couple hours later we'll all be in the kitchen like heating up pieces of pizza. It's like, Jesus Christ.
You want to see Trent light up? You go to a restaurant with him and you find like a nachos or something on the appetizer list, and you ask him like, you want these nachos? And he goes, yeah, you know what, I do. That I do is like when he's back with the boys being like, let's go, let's order that, let's take that down. And you're like, oh, you want the queso too? He goes, yeah, you know what, I do want the queso.
Right,
it's
like
a really good feeling.
I'm never gonna say no to a bunch of appetizers coming to our table.
Yeah,
never.
No, that's
Speaking of fit, I actually feel like my face is as thin as it's been. I don't know why. Maybe because we're doing this early or something's going on, but I actually feel like I could see my chin.
You haven't had a bunch of salt today?
Yeah, no, salt is my killer.
Yeah, salt hurts you. There was a credit to me. There was screenshot going around from your.
I saw that. Yeah, that's a bad.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I didn't retweet it.
To To be honest, though, I really think that that's more of my awkward stance. I mean, like, I think even if I was as thin as possible, it would have that weird curve. But it was because I was like bending backwards. It wasn't like it was weird. I looked like a fucking broken swan or something.
You know, I agree. I didn't think it was particularly fair, and I didn't think all the context was present. So I thought retweeting it, while it would do numbers, I didn't think it was fair to you.
Yeah, I saw that tweet. That guy kept hitting me every 5 seconds. I'm sure he'll keep hitting me tomorrow.
Right. Riggs is right where I don't think it was that damning, but you are now living in a post fat face Frankie world where
it was a damning photo. It was damning.
Yes.
It was a bad visual. I just genuinely think with like the tight pants I had on and the way my fucking thing was, I was pointing back at the sky. And the way Brendan was taking it, it's like, well, yeah, it looked like I had 2 pieces of my body disconnected, one of them being a fat upper torso.
That's what I'm saying. You no longer have the benefit of the doubt of a skinny guy. People are like, oh, there he is. There's the
nothing about that photo was skinny.
Yeah, I did. I stopped and I examined it, and I thought for a while on whether I should kind of retweet it or not. And at the end of the day, like I said, I didn't think it was if pre-fat face Frankie, it would never have gotten a retweet from me. So I didn't think post-fat face Frankie that, we should be condemning you to horrible, horrible visuals all the time.
Horrible.
And celebrating them. So I didn't retweet.
No, I appreciate that, but at this point, who cares for me? Like, it's like I've had so many bad pictures out there at this point. Like, I mean, the photo of us at the Genesis, we're in the cutout at 18. Like, the fact that you guys let me have that facial hair is pretty stunning. And I know you probably during the time were like, no, you got to shave that. You look ridiculous. But you need to strap me down, slap me in the face, and tell me, like, look at what you look like.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought you liked that facial hair. Like,
just like a person that drinks and has to go to a fucking like Alcoholics Anonymous.
No.
Enjoys drinking. You gotta fucking shoot me into a room, man. I needed help.
You needed a facial hair intervention?
I needed help. Yeah. Like, obviously I liked it. That's why I had it. And
I will come out and say that I still think it looked pretty good.
Oh, I didn't think it looked that bad.
Oh man, it's a stunning visual to see that's what I was. It was dark. It was just
the Genesis cutout is very funny, but I think the funniest version of that was the Kevin Kisner 4-man scramble when you went full Bubba Watson. That was the visor and the outfit, and you had the facial hair. You look like a different person.
My facial hair that day was.
You were different.
For some reason, my facial hair that day, my mustache and the little patch underneath was fluffy, and it really did actually look like a mustache. And that photo with the Bubba Watson outfit on, that's something that I'll never be able to not see.
Yeah, I think like even your hair's fluffy in that picture a little bit. It's
weird,
like,
yeah.
Coming out the top.
Yeah, it's so not you at all. I don't know.
Does anyone know how those Genesis cutouts came to be, or is that just something that happened?
I'm gonna guess. One of our boys who works at the TGR Foundation, who's played in a couple Barstool Classics, become a buddy of mine. I didn't hear anything about it, but he, I think, has a strong hand in this tournament and in the Albany tournament in the Bahamas. So I would guess that he had a big role in doing that, which I appreciate. Where are we? We're on like the 18th tee, is that right?
18th green, I think, right? Or 18th tee?
I thought it was 18 green, but I'm not
Amazing.
sure.
They're funny cutouts. Lurch actually looks like a normal human being in his. He's got the bucket hat on. It's actually a nice, appealing photo.
I look normal size. I mean, you can't like make unless they got a larger cutout and just extended.
That would have been funny.
If they just put me on the top of the tree and just put it all the way down, that would have been pretty funny. But
they should have just picked a tree and just wrote Lurch on it.
Max Home actually commented on that on my photo. He was like, how the hell, in honor of Happy Gilmore, he's like, how the hell am I supposed to putt with that going on?
just crudely painted Lurch on it, just like in the background somewhere. It's me, it's Frankie, it's Rick. We all look great, and just some guy just like L. Ooh, that would be. But I'm glad that it's a normal picture because you look just extremely happy in your picture, Lurch. You're just
I mean, I'm on a golf course. I think I was caddying for the Aaron Hill boys at Barstool Classic in Chicago, and I had the whole caddy garb on, and
You were happy that day. I remember that.
Well, I mean, whatever. It's a good day, what am I like upset?
No. I just like you were just into being their caddy. I just remember being like it was one of those days where I was like, I just can't handle Lurch today. Look at him, he's like fucking smiling and shit. Like you were just really, yeah, you were like just super positive. Like, hey boys, like all right, like let me just go fucking hide in the bathroom.
I will say, I think caddying's like a lot of fun. Like you're just rooting for somebody else. You're kind of trying to think through the course. I think caddying's actually a ton of fun, and I've never really caddied before, but that was a great day. Just like shooting flags, talking about numbers, hoping they hit it there, and then
used to love getting a good loop, like a good crew out there when I was caddying, and like you're on their team and you finally make a good read or something or a good call, and they all fucking go crazy. They give you a cigar or something. I was like 16 years old. They'd be giving me cigars, and it was like that was a lot of fun on the golf course until you got the guy like Trent's still laughing at the tree thing, but unless you get the judge, and then everything goes downhill there. He grabs your neck.
Caddying at country clubs like that is such an interesting thing though, because you could tell them like the line is this or that, and then you might miss it a little bit, but you're just hoping that they pull or push it online and that they make it, and then they get excited. Like nobody's actually like hitting it to where you want them to hit it. So it's a very funny dynamic when they get all excited about that.
Rory McIlroy has been elected as the first player not born in the United States to be elected to the PGA Tour Policy Board. There's a crew of like 16, and they go through and discuss different policies and issues on the tour. And then they have like a chairman who ultimately presents and makes calls. And then there's like a 4-player, I believe, player advisory council of like these guys that have been, the top dogs in terms of player advisory, who essentially take everything that's been discussed and either bring it to the tour or kind of come up with a policy that they genuinely want. Our good friend Kevin Kisner is one of those 4. And Rory McIlroy will now join the advisory council, and then he will, after his term, he joins, I think you do a 3-year term on the policy board with these other guys. So he's essentially going to become, which I think everybody probably figured inevitable, one of the key voices for the PGA Tour behind the scenes that actually makes policy and weighs in all these things. He's Rory McIlroy. He's got a great head on his shoulders. He seems to be well-grounded. He seems to be well thought out when he goes through stuff. So I think this is kind of a no-brainer. And I don't know that it'll really affect us much.
No, he's the guy I would trust. Like, elect him to the highest possible golf governing body office. Like, he's just a guy who understands what's going on, what should be done. I don't think no one's gonna not trust Rory with a decision regarding golf ever. So I think having him make any sort of decision in that way is a positive thing for the sport.
Right. Yeah, the way he talked about, like, he's like, I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but this is just a mistake in terms of, the distance conversation, like just the way he went about that and the words he chose. He's fantastic. And I think he's got the respect of everybody, whether you're on the inside or a player at this time. I think he's got the full respect of everybody.
Yeah, and then the policy board of the 4, I believe right now, is Charlie Hoffman, Jordan Spieth, James Hahn, and Kevin Kisner. And then Rory will, of course, replace Spieth next year, and then that cycle just keeps going on. So good for Rory, kind of a no-brainer. And when
Charlie Hoffman and Kisner on the same board, I feel like not a lot of stuff's getting done there.
I was thinking about that too. Like, I feel like Rory McIlroy would be in those meetings quoting Shakespeare or, just glowingly talking about the sport, and then Kevin Kisner just spitting into a dip cup like, yeah, that sounds good to me too. Just like exactly. Those are 2 very different people.
Very different, from very different backgrounds.
Yes.
Okay. From the gallery, foreplay at barstoolsports.com. You can submit from the gallery requests. First one's from Ronan, who says, what American Tour pro could you win a Ryder Cup match with?
I mean,
so the person essentially has to be able to beat the other two guys
Yeah.
by himself?
Yeah, it's a good question of like, obviously alternate shot, we're out. That clearly wouldn't work. But if you played best ball, like I would even extend it to A, like who's the player? We can answer that question. And then B, like, do you think you would genuinely factor in at any moment?
I would say I would take DJ, and I would not factor in once unless I made a lucky putt.
I would say, I mean, DJ is the number one ranked player in the world, so it's hard not to take him. I think DJ is the obvious answer, so I would take DJ. I think if he just gets his A game going, he can just probably beat anyone. And I do think, like Lurch, I think you would factor in. Like I think that there's going to be.
I appreciate that. Before you go any further, I really appreciate that comment.
But like at the Ryder Cup, there's going to be par threes that are in the 150 to 210 range that like you just like in scrambles, you just hit it pretty close a decent amount of the time. So like if you're going to hit it decently close and have a big putt for birdie.
I would love, it would be, that's the coolest thing I ever thought through in my brain was what you just shared right there. It was like that opportunity. But yeah, I would say that I would factor in on, like, if there was a bet, I would say 0.5 holes. Do you think it's any higher than that?
I guess
like where they actually took my score. I think it's 0.5.
Right. If they defined it as you have to have the lower score on the team, like that gets a little dicey. But yeah, probably 0.5, I would guess.
Yeah. Yeah. If you were working with DJ, based on what we just saw working with him quickly at TaylorMade and the way the ball comes off his club face, I think there's no shot in hell that I factor into this world at all. But if I did, it would be wildly cool. So you take DJ, how many holes do you think you'd factor in? Do you think you would?
Again, I'd be the exact same as you.
Yeah,
I think.
exactly.
0.5, like you say. And if I really have a great hole and DJ fucking somehow viciously lips out and then I make like a 15-footer on the one hole where I hit it to 15 feet, then I factor in.
Yeah. I think that's well said.
The hope is just to make a birdie, right? Like if you make a birdie, he's not going to birdie every single hole. He's not shooting a fucking 58 out there. Like at the end of the day, if you can make a birdie, you may catch him on a fucking hole that he makes a par and you just win the hole for the team. So I think if you just kind of have a good day, there's a chance that you could maybe even contribute twice. Who knows? A couple par threes, par five. What if he puts in the rough? You stripe a drive right down the middle. You like in front of the green in two. You chip one real close, you tap in for a birdie. That's not our game. We're fucking amateur losers, but that could happen. It's happened a bunch of times to us. Maybe DJ hits into the tree, punches out, makes a 5. Come on, you can fucking contribute once in a while.
I did not think you were going to be the voice of positivity on that.
Well, I just think at the end of the day, those are your chances to do it. It's not like you have to fucking go out there and make a hole in one. Like you can still contribute by playing a regular hole of golf. You hit an iron, you make a putt.
100%.
It's not like, you don't need to access. So yeah,
you might make 8 birdies. So then you only have 10 holes where you got a chance to even take your own score. Like it dwindles down pretty good.
I think when you're doing an over under though, you have to take that into account. You're gonna have 10 chances to fucking do it.
Make birdie. It's like how many holes have you played in your life? How many birdies do you have? Like you don't make a birdie every 10 holes.
Yeah, I know. So maybe it is a half, but I just think it's it's a good conversation because it depends on how much confidence you have going in of your own game. I don't think you think about his is my point.
Yeah,
you can play decently. DJ doesn't even come into question.
I would say like DJ P Reed's probably in consideration just because how good he's been. But
I was gonna say Patrick Reed. I know I wouldn't contribute, so that wouldn't matter. But I would hope that
0.5.
I'd play with Patrick Reed, and then I would eventually get thrown under the bus by Justine Reed, and then I become part of that storyline. Like I obviously wouldn't contribute, and she'd be like, "Well, this guy fucking sucks." my guy P Reed, my husband played with this idiot, and he can't play, and that's why we lost. I just would want to play with Patrick Reed in hopes that I would get sucked into the Reed family vortex.
Dude, we were on the stream the other night, and Patrick Reed put up a picture of him building a snowman with his children. And Trent said something so funny, like just off the top of his head. He was like, I was like, oh, Patrick Reed just put up a picture of him building a snowman. And Trent's like, Oh, what was the caption? Trying to keep these off the golf course. And I thought that was so funny. I don't know what. That was a very funny thing to think that that's what he would caption.
Well, I knew he wouldn't catch it.
Right.
Yeah, no.
He would never, like, Patrick Reed's social media is it's never like light and fun and like trying to like make stupid jokes. It was definitely something like, this is the first time we've been out. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, his social media is not a place for like stupid dad golf humor.
No, that's a Max Homa caption.
Yes.
Riggs, to your point though earlier before we move, if we did play alternate shot, say with DJ, on what hole do you lose against a professional team? Like, do you lose the first 10 holes because you just are inadequate? Or
No, because alternate shot is tough enough that like I don't like the other team isn't going to go crazy low, and also like we all know, alternate shot I think is actually more our style of game in terms of when you're playing with a pro, where we all know that like on any given hole it takes one great shot. Like if you have one great shot, you're usually totally fine. Like you can hit a horrible drive, then you hit just an awesome iron and you're back. Or you hit like a slapdick drive, then you hit like a slapdick second shot, but you hit a sick wedge and like you're just back and you're totally fine in the hole. So I think that when you factor in that the player now, DJ in this case, is the best player in the world and like 50% of the time he's just hitting awesome shots, I think you'd be in better shape. You just have to be able to like, you have to be able to not hit horrific shots. Like if you could just get your drive out there and, like DJ figure it out. And if you can just, if he roasts a drive, like think about where you're going to be hitting your second shots from. If DJ's like, we could hit.
I hear you, but like the pro's going to be hitting like a similar shot. He might be 20 yards back, but like you're still facing like, if it's Molinari and Fleetwood, like, you still got Fleetwood coming in from 20 yards behind you. So right. I think like if you made it to the 14th hole, that would be astonishing.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not saying you're going to win. You're definitely going to lose, but I don't know that you would lose every hole. I don't think you're going to lose like the first 10 holes. I think like, think about that on the holes where DJ tees off, like you're basically hitting a wedge or a short iron in. And then even if you miss the green, you hit some shit shot, like DJ's probably going to chip it really close.
Right.
And the other team then has to make birdie. Like, so,
right.
I don't think you'd get dusted. It's tight. It's dicey when you tee off, right? Like, especially if you've done it the way, like you come to a 230-yard par 3 where DJ's hitting like 5 iron or something to like middle of the green and you're standing there with like a 3-wood in your hands being like, okay, if this is in play, that'd be great. So that's where it gets really dicey.
Yeah. I think it'd be interesting, but I don't think you make it past the 13th hole.
Yeah, I think around there. I think 13 would be around where the betting line would be.
It'd be interesting.
It'd be a lot of fun if we could somehow get 4 pros to go out there with us and we all do alternate shot. Like,
yeah.
That would be hysterical.
Just to see which pairing could somehow get it together the best.
Yeah.
And you'd almost have to flight it where like Trent got the best pro based off of world ranking. And then like I got the next one and like we stick Lurch with fucking whatever.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
I really thought a Zach Johnson chirp was coming there. I was ready.
Yeah.
ZJ. It didn't happen.
I was gonna say Webb Simpson because we always talk about him as just like a bag of milk, but he's actually a pretty fucking golfer.
He's like top 10 in the world right now.
I know. I was gonna say like that joke doesn't work anymore.
No, he's been so good the last couple of years.
Fucking insane video.
That would be awesome. And honestly, the last time we did this little thought leader process, we came up with the 4-man scramble. So hopefully we can. I mean, you have to get 4 pros on the same golf course.
It has to be like a couple of days before a tournament, right? I mean, they all have to be in the same.
Yeah, we could do. I wonder if we could get them to do like a 9-hole, 4-player alternate shot thing.
Yeah.
Dude, just working with the pro and like them being on your team and being like, you have to hit a good shot here, especially if you get really good personalities out of these people, like a Harry Higgs or something. That's like, dude. Like dial it in right now. You can do this. Like, so you really caring about it would be so much fun. I almost want to delete this from the video because it's that good of an idea.
Well, we'll get into this, and one reason I think we're going to be really good is because we have our sim drivers and our
Yes.
sim 3-woods, and I got a sim 5-wood, and it's freaking awesome. The TaylorMade Sim family, which you've heard us talk a lot about in the last few months. The Sim family hit stores this Friday, February 19th. The Sim 2 drivers, fairways, rescues, and 3 new sets of irons as well are now here. These things, I can't tell you, when I went to Pinehurst and played about a month ago with my boys, and it was cold conditions, and they could not believe where my drives were going. They could not believe the sounds of my irons. You saw us get fitted at the Kingdom and how pure and how much better everything looked. It's because these clubs, they do not mess around. There's a reason that the guy that we're talking about right now, Dustin Johnson, a lot, he's a TaylorMade guy. Rory McIlroy, TaylorMade guy. Tiger Woods, best player to ever play the game, TaylorMade guy. There is a reason. So do yourself a favor. Go to the store Friday, February 19th. Get fit. Check them out. The Sim family, the irons, which again, they have 3 new sets of irons. I love the P770s. The P790s are awesome as well. All their new sets of irons. The Tour Response golf ball, which we slapped our logo on, is a phenomenal golf ball. If you wonder what like tour level, tour quality golf balls like without paying, out the wazoo, the Tour Response is your answer. So a big thanks to TaylorMade. And we're pumped to be playing TaylorMade because all of our games are looking significantly sharper. We've got, in a few weeks here, a big stretch of golf coming up for the boys. And I'm quite pumped to see how everyone does with their TaylorMade gear.
So exciting. The gear is incredible. We are playing a lot of golf coming up, and it is going to be good to get a couple reps in with these things because they're just another level. I had a buddy send me a picture of these new clubs from an inferior company. And he sent me a picture of these new ones that they released, and I just sent him back a video of Tiger Woods twirling his sim after a drive at Augusta National.
That's a good win.
He's the
too.
best golfer of all time. He's hitting a sim driver, and he's striping one with a draw on like 13 at Augusta. It's just like, which one are you choosing? The one with fucking this guy or that? Like, come on. Which team are you on?
You got to be on the right one. I got to go. Love you guys. Hit it hard with those beautiful TaylorMade clubs.
Love me.
And
you don't love me, Lurch. You don't love any of us. You
No,
love us. Yeah, but
I love all you guys.
You don't love us.
Love you, Lurch.
I love you, Lurch.
Love you,
Lurch.
He thought
Love
about
the
that for
good
a
guys.
second.
No, love you, Lurch. Go sling some drones, buddy.
Good name for before I go.
Yes.
YouTube, sign up before I go. Who should I get?
Just think of any name.
Colt, my boy Colt, who I played with
Oh.
last night. Jump on, sign up. Love you guys. Love you, Frankie. Talk to you later. Hit it
Love
hard.
you, Lurch. Great stuff.
Kind of stole my name from last time, which was Colton, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, we did play with a Colt C24, I think was his name. That's weird that I remember his gamer tag.
I had a bunch of Coltons reach out to me after I called them out on the last podcast to subscribe to the Foreplay YouTube channel, and they were all from the Midwest. They're like,
100%.
It's such a Midwest name. They're like, I'm from the middle of the country. The only Coltons they've ever met that we've all ever met came from the Midwest, and that's just a fact.
Yeah, I could just picture like a mom screaming like, Colton,
Yep. Yeah.
close the tornado door.
That's what you think of the Midwest, isn't it?
I think of
tornado door. That's what your dumb brain came up with.
what's it called?
Well, you just go to the basement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like a bunker or whatever.
I think that's for nuclear attacks usually.
I picture wood walls. I picture a rug, a red old couch, a TV that everyone sits around. I picture a yellow kitchen with wood cabinets, and I picture a porch on the
You're
outside.
describing like the 60s or 70s. I think.
Yeah, and you just fucking everyone's running around. Kids are in little rooms with posters on the walls. It seems like a nice family place. I'm not talking down on it. Like that's a nice homey experience.
One
But
of
that's
these
not a picture. I don't picture. Look at that fucking TaylorMade putter cover. Is that with the grass on it? Holy shit!
Whoa.
People on YouTube watching this are seeing it, but if you're listening to it, you're not getting the visual. That is
Dude.
a hell of a putter cover.
Look at this thing for the spider. Are you kidding me?
I think they have a pizza one that I need to get sent.
Dude, the Hawaiian like beach one that they gave me that I actually have on my bag down in my car right now says Aloha on it. And it's like light blue with like a fucking umbrella. It is. You got to get the pizza one, Frank.
Totally. But yeah, that's what I think about the Midwest.
You know, it was a great putter cover that I saw. I saw it online somewhere, but it was the wallet from Pulp Fiction as a
Oh,
spider cover, which I
hell
thought,
yeah. Badass motherfucker.
yeah, I thought that was a great putter cover. I forgot where I saw it, but I might have to get that.
Yeah. My
Uh,
buddy had one of Mike's secret juice or whatever from Space Jam. You
Oh,
know, the
secret
water
sauce.
bottle? The secret sauce. Yeah, that's a really good putter cover too.
Damn.
the name I'm going to go with, if you're out there listening, Spencer. So if your name is Spencer, you motherfuckers, right now, all you Spencers, you need to go onto YouTube. You need to type in Foreplay Golf, and you need to subscribe. If you were holding out, too bad. Today's your day. You have to subscribe. Now you will get notifications for all of our videos, and you will be a happier person. So Spencers, subscribe.
Very quickly, I just want to say that it's Michael's secret stuff. I'm going to get 1,000 tweets about it. But if I didn't, it's not secret sauce. It's secret stuff. So
I was closer than you.
you were, and I'm sorry that I corrected you thinking I was right.
Alex, whether you're a male or female, you know it's been time. You know that I was about to call you out one of these days. You've been listening to this fucking show for 4 years. You're a golfer. You like going out, getting some fresh air. You enjoy sitting back on the weekend, scrolling through YouTube, looking for golf videos. And it's about time that you got your fucking shit together, Alex. All right? You didn't do that well in high school. You could have done better in college. Now it's time to pay it back, pay it forward, figure out your life, do something with it. Alex, your whole family wants you to be better. All right? Your mom's worried about you. Your dad disappointed at times. Be able to walk downstairs and be like, you know what I did today, guys? I fucking subscribed to the Foreplay Golf podcast, and I feel better about myself. I am one of 116,000 patrons that enjoy watching just a couple of guys, a jolly guy with a goatee and a receding hairline, play golf. I'm not talking specifically about you, Trent. That could be anyone.
Oh.
and Alex, you know what, man? You just, or girl, because Alex could be, what's the word for that? Is it it's by gender? Is it gender fluid of a name? You know, it could be guy, girl, it could be
I don't know the term for it. I don't
there's
know.
a word where it could be anything, right? Like Frankie could be
Gender
a girl.
neutral.
Gender neutral. Maybe it's a gender neutral name.
Could be gender neutral. I'm trying to think, like, if you can use a name for either male or female,
gender neutral, I think.
But like, if you can use either your left or right arm, you're ambidextrous. So is some of that prefix or something? Would that be? I don't know.
I think when parents are thinking about what they want to name their child and they don't want to know, sometimes they come up with a gender neutral name. But Alex, yeah, there you go. So damn. Alex, you piece of shit, get your shit together. I'm rooting for you, and let me know when you subscribe. Send it to me. I'll respond back. Thank you. It's about time you got your shit together, and we'll move on with our day. And we're going to be posting tailor-made videos every single Tuesday, and we're going to have a great time. We're going to have a great fucking time on that channel. We like to play 2K. We do all these videos against pros. We're really up in our shit. You know, I get all these messages, play the you know what? We're no longer YouTube just like amateurs. All right. Every video we're putting out here is we're hitting you hard. Tommy Fleetwood, Matthew Wolff, Colin Morikawa, 4-man scramble, Pat Perez, Joel Damon. I mean, it's nonstop now. It's nonstop. And what's coming up in the future is nuts.
It is nonstop, and that hasn't even mentioned behind the greens, which Frankie's been working his dick off on, along with E-Bug. That doesn't mention travel show, which we're going to put out. We're planning to put out 3 to 4 travel series this year, going to 3 or 4 different destinations. We're filming one very soon. So we got a lot of good shit coming up on our YouTube. So even though we're calling out names and making fun of you based upon your name, we still want you to subscribe because we love you. And I know there's a lot of love you talk going around, but we do. And we want your life to be better, and your life will improve because, like Frankie said, we're not just putting dog shit on our YouTube. We have we have figured out YouTube in a significantly better form than we did originally when we made the funny bit about how is this new platform. We didn't really know what the fuck we were doing. I think now we're putting out legitimate stuff pretty much every day.
Give us a name.
I've got a specific call out because I got a DM from this guy who said, you'll never say my name. It's not a common name, or at least as far as I know. So Easton.
Whoa.
Easton. You thought you were never getting called out, but look where we are now. You're getting called out. Easton. Subscribe to the Fore YouTube channel for all the reasons that Frankie and Riggs just listed off. It's just going to get better and better. It's already pretty damn good, but it's just going to get better and better as we figure it out and we do more videos and more content. So Easton, my man, you don't want to miss out. Subscribe.
Big hockey company name, Easton Hockey Sticks.
Yep, I was gonna say must have been a hockey player or base. They make baseball bats, right? So, definitely a sport daddy there with that name for sure. Not a bad name though. I like that. I like Easton.
It's a sweet name. Anything that's a little bit unique, I think, is cool.
No, I like Easton. Oh, someone messaged me yesterday because I called out all the Mavericks, and I didn't think there would be any other Mavericks in the world. And a couple Mavericks were like, "Yeah, I subscribed today," which was
really
nuts. Yeah, it was like
all right, we got the Mavs.
Yeah, we got the Mavs.
All right, boys. I think that's it for today. Everybody enjoy Riviera. Everybody enjoy the Genesis. We've got a very good field, a lot of really, really top-end players. And if you're listening to this before folks have teed off, you might have been able to get it in, Thursday morning if you're out on the East Coast before they tee off in the West Coast time. You can try to get in your bet on the Barstool Sportsbook, Spieth and Max Homa, plus 400 to both finish top 30.
The Spieth one paid out last week. It was plus 325. Boosted. So, I mean, people got paid from that one. You got to be in Michigan. You got to be in Philly or Pennsylvania. And I just think you got to get in on that. If you have the time, if you can get in before the first tee time, do it. I mean, those are two of our guys that we like to talk about a lot on the podcast. Home is a close personal friend of the podcast, and you just want to root for two guys to play some good golf at Riviera. That's a fun little bet. Boosted out the wazoo, and you're just going to make some money if that wins. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing for everyone. We enjoy winning. And I don't know that I really have anything else.
You guys noticed that the sun just appeared during this podcast?
That's nightmare. So 6 a.m. for you, huh?
Yeah, 6 a.m.
Wow, it was a 6 a.m. podcast. You're talking golf on a Wednesday at 6 a.m. That's wow.
Dude, I got up at like 5:15 to get myself in the mindset.
Jeez.
Like Dwight before he goes into a meeting when he sits in the car and fucking goes crazy with the music. I had to get in the mindset. You can't do a golf podcast. You'd be audio show and you're just asleep like a zombie. It doesn't really work. So I had to get up and get ready to go.
I've been getting a lot of go ahead.
Well, now it's fucking 7:41 right now on a Wednesday, and I can just kind of do whatever I want, which is great.
Too early still. Like you should go back to bed for at least an hour.
I'm not a go back to bed guy. I would rather go hard, not go hard, just like have a normal day. I never go hard, and then just be able to pass out tonight.
I've been getting a lot of messages asking for an update in my hockey team, my roller hockey team, because I've kind of just blurted that out to the world that I've joined a roller hockey league, and I haven't given many updates. We have now won 3 games in a row. The Outcasts are on fire. Our goalie's standing on his head. So I talked about this with Lurch a little bit the other day, but we're playing meaningful games against teams that like they have a little bit of rivalries against that they've lost to in years past, and like these games are a little chippy and they're close. Like each goal kind of matters, which I thought going into a roller hockey league, it'd be 10-0 every single game, or some guys wouldn't show up to really play. I think in this COVID world, everyone just wants to go out, be active, and play sports again. And there's just like newfound resurgence of competition and being with people and human beings. So these games are tight. I also don't have much experience in it, so I don't know if they've always been tight, but to me, I just had the total different vision of what it was going to be. I have not yet scored. I have 3 games played, 3 apples though. I've got an assisted game.
On the sheet.
I'm on the sheet. I'm catching passes. The other night, I just have to give a shout out. Playing with my buddy Brian Rowan. He's on the left side. We're both. I get the puck. I put it off the boards, and I go around the guy, and I'm fucking coming down on a 2-on-2. One of the guys back checking. He's coming after me, and I fucking just pass it through 2 guys, 4 sets of skates. It hits Brian's fucking stick. He slams it in for a one-timer. We meet. We fucking jump into each other's arms. I'm like that. I looked at him on the bench. I said, that was the price of admission. That right there is why I joined this league, to have this like fake simulation of me being in the NHL, of the game that I've watched my entire life and never got to play. I just got to pass it across on a rush, and you slam it home, and like I'm on the sheet. We're winning the game 2-0. I fucking love this sport. I can't wait. I want to keep going. I want to play ice, and then I'm maybe going to try for the NHL. Like, I mean, at some point it's going to keep going. Maybe I'll take 51 strokes I'll do that for hockey because I just want to keep playing. I love the sport. I'm hooked.
There's nothing better than men's league hockey, Frankie. And no matter what, no matter the stigma, the typical characterizations, men's league hockey, roller, ice, whatever, gets more intense and meaningful than you would ever want to admit to people or that
Yes.
anyone would ever guess. Like, it just matters. And I think a lot of it is, and it's like this, I would say, in like pickup basketball too. Even I haven't really played much, but like, I think it's the same vibe of anytime you're exerting the fucking like physical effort required to actually play the sport, you're like, this has to be worth something. Like, it has to. I can't, like, you're fucking
Yeah.
hockey kills your body. You are,
Dude.
your whole body, like, you ache, you get pains because you just run into people or you slash each other, even if it's not intentional. And then every fucking, like, we talked about the shifts on the NHL, how they're like average 42 seconds.
The
And
breathing.
people that aren't like huge hockey fans might be like, holy shit. But like, it's like running straight uphill for 40 seconds straight. And then you do that for 3 periods and you're running into people and you're mad at people and you think somebody else is a scumbag on the other team and they might be or might not. But like, by the end of it, when your blood, sweat, and tears are out there, you want to fucking win. Like,
You have to win. And dude, the breathing is,
Yeah.
I mean, we got stuck in the defensive zone for, I don't know, a minute and a half. I was out there for like a minute and 45 seconds. And I actually thought about just falling on the just flat, because I said to myself in my head, there's no much, I can't go much further. I know if we don't get this puck out of this zone and I can't, or I thought about just going to the bench and just changing during this onslaught of shots, because I was no help to the team. I was barely moving left to right. They're passing it around us. They're getting shots on goal. And I'm just like, ugh. I was literally breathing like, like I couldn't catch my breath. Because, dude, I lay in bed. I go to the office. We do whatever. We're always sitting down in chairs. We stream for 4 hours. We do whatever and then I go out and play hockey like that. Dude, my whoop was like a 16 for an hour.
Dude, Frankie, if you could understand, and it's a little different now because we're pathetic adults, but like when you're in high school or college, like there were times when you would get punished as a team for shit performances where
my
you
God.
would have, this happened to us a couple of times in college, we would have puckless practice. So we would have 6 a.m., show up at the rink, fully dressed on the ice, and they wouldn't bring a single puck out for 2 hours. And it was just a bag skate for 2 straight hours, to where like 30 minutes into it, you're in the position you're talking about, Frankie, where you're like, honestly, the only decision for me at this point is to just collapse onto the ground. And you have to skate for another 45 minutes every time that motherfucker blows the whistle, or you'll be like in the stands for the next 2 months. So it's like, it was the worst fucking thing ever. It's like, it fucking sucked.
It's a great sport, and roller's a little bit different because like it's kind of hard to stop. Like I feel like when I was like ice skating, like at least you learned how to do it and you can kind of be agile. Like, but I'm kind of learning how to stop now. The only thing that I'll say that's a negative of it is it feels very much like golf, where the only time you can get better or progress your skill is within the game. So like I can't just go to the driving range of roller hockey. Like every Tuesday night at 8:30 or whatever is my next time I lace them up and I get to practice skating or shooting or accepting a pass or learning a one-timer. I don't get to really, and it's within a game with the defender. So I don't really get to learn anything. Like I think the place we play at gives every team 1 practice a year or something. And I missed it. I was out at Torrey Pines. So I just missed that whole chance of learning like where to be positioned and stuff. So yeah, no, I'm very excited that I found it now, because I feel like I can get a decent amount of years here. Like I have a guy on my team that's 40 years old and he's a fucking defender and he's unreal. He just plays his position, and every time there's like a 2-on-1, he just like intercepts the pass or gets a stick on it, and the guys love him. And I want to be able to be playing when I'm 40 years old, because it's fucking roller hockey. It's not that fucking difficult. You can play forever. It doesn't matter. So yeah, I'm very excited that I got into it. I wish I did it when I was 18.
You say you can't improve, and I get what you're saying, but you should chip away at that cardio. You can get that cardio up.
I need this goddamn Peloton bike. I wasn't saying their name the other day, but they just haven't sent me the bike. They don't have enough fucking steel in Pittsburgh or whatever. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy that they can't get me this bike. I want to be active. I would be on it every single day.
Frankie, this summer when I'm back, I want to play. If you guys, are you guys
my God.
playing
Yes.
this summer?
Yeah, I'm going to play every season. I'm going to play every single time.
I want to play.
It's so much fun.
Dude,
And
it's fun.
I feel like if you have an ice hockey player bringing it on where you have a little more control on roller, you guys could have so much fun in roller.
Dude, St. Louis roller hockey's huge in St. Louis. All my boys back home in St. Louis play a ton of roller, and I never got crazy into it, but like I would play.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, I mean, if you can play ice at like a pretty good level, you can figure it out. But you are right. Like it hurts you a little bit that roller's first for you because like not being able to stop and like really use your edges like you can on ice is a huge part of the game, and just stopping on roller hockey in general is just hard. Like you're just on fucking wheels.
So for me, it's like I'm doing like all these like roundabout turns, and like I'm starting to figure out how to stop because it's really hard. You gotta like do like a circle and kind of push on your right leg, but like to be able to be agile and move away from someone, I would like to just have like sharp edges where you learn how to stop. Obviously, that's one of the hardest parts about hockey, but at some point you learn how to do it. In roller, I just feel like there's like not that level of being able to be quick and movement. And like, if you catch a pass, you want to move to the left. In roller, everything's very circular for me. It's like, I'm doing a bunch of turns, but a lot of fun. It's all about getting that heart pumping, man. Like you just got to get that heart pumping.
Yeah. The practicing part is like, it reminds me of somebody told me years ago, they were like, dude, have you ever gone to a range or a practice facility and just gone into like the green side bunker and hit bunker shots for like 10 or 15 minutes? And I was like, not really, no. Like and they're like, dude, if you did that in 10 minutes, you would hit more bunker shots than you'll hit in the next year or two.
Yeah.
And like, think about what that does for you, being able to hit more than you'll hit in 2 or 3 years, maybe in 10 or 15 minutes. You just like learn stuff that you otherwise wouldn't learn.
That is crazy, actually.
And it's true. Like if you hit fucking 30 or 40 greenside bunker shots in 10 minutes, you're going to hit more than you'll hit all fucking year. Like you don't hit that many greenside bunker shots. So it was interesting, but it would be, you should try to find some, like, there's gotta be open skates or something.
Yeah, there probably is. Yeah, there is. I mean, if anyone knows about it, message me. I'll be there. I've got the bug. I have the itch that I can't find on my leg right now. And I just I'm ready to rock. I also want to get better at golf. I want to just become a better athlete at 27 years old. I feel like even I should have been worried about that when I was 15 or 14, but for some reason it's
that's
hitting
the beauty
me
of that's the beauty of golf, especially, is that now you can just, if you become better at golf, you'll just be that level forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I walked to my kitchen the other day and my dad was doing some new tip that he read in some fucking magazine, and he was just moving his hip. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I can't wait to get out there and try this new fucking. I was like, come on, Dad. Like, that's just, you look ridiculous. It was something where like he finishes the swing to start and brings it back and then goes in. It's just, it's not a catapult. It's a golf swing. So you can the only reason I said that is because you're like, when you get to a level, that's just how you are your whole life. I think my dad's been a sit on the toilet, read a magazine, get a tip since he was like 20. So I think that's why he's still that at 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're motivating me. I'm going to try to get on a men's league team here in Arizona. I got to figure that shit out. So
Arizona hockey's popping off. I feel like there's a bunch of rinks down there, right? Like, I mean, they get a lot of players.
Dude, there are, because last time I said it, I ended up getting COVID right after, so obviously I couldn't join a team. But last time I said it on the show, I got a good amount of messages, and people were like, yeah, the hockey down here is like really fucking good. Arizona, a lot of guys move here, I think, too, after, from other places. There's imports from different spots, so there's pretty good hockey around here. So I'm going to try to get on a men's league team. You've motivated me, Frank.
Hell yeah.
All right, that's it for us. Again, everybody enjoy the Genesis. Enjoy.
Do we have picks for Genesis?
I'm taking Cantlay.
You're high on Cantlay right now.
I am high on Cantlay right now.
Why?
I just like him. I just like him. I think he's steely. I think he's got all the talent in the world, and he's playing well right now. Why the fuck not?
Good.
I'm going Xander Schauffele.
Frank?
Okay. Well, now you guys kind of put me in a little spot here.
Well, what did you think? Did you think we weren't going to ask you?
Well, no, because I was going to pick, I was actually going to pick Xander Schauffele. As fucked up as that is, that name was in my head because, he's been in the mix and I've just seen his face a lot.
California kid.
for me, when I see a guy's face during a broadcast a lot, it just gets etched in my brain, and I always think about him the next week and the week after. Like right now, all I'm thinking is the name Jordan Spieth, even though I don't think he's gonna win. Like we've just seen so much Jordan Spieth, I can't think of I'm not thinking of a Colin Morikawa right now, who you should be thinking about. And I'm not, you know what? Fucking Colin Morikawa. You want to talk about Cali? He went to college out there, the whole thing. Fucking Colin Morikawa.
All right. I like it.
All right. That's it. I got Xander. You got Morikawa. I hope Xander wins now, and I bowled you off of Morikawa.
I know. That's the name I was thinking of. But now I got Morikawa. I mean, boo-hoo. I have Colin Morikawa. The guy's one of the best players in the world.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to those picks. Good luck to Max and to Jordan Spieth. Everyone have a lovely weekend. We'll be back, as always, on Tuesday. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.